Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hopefully you're all doing well and having a good day. So, obviously I wanted to talk about this business with Jonathan Joly, and this kind of situation with him. So, I'm sure you guys would have seen the two videos that I did yesterday evening talking about Jonathan. I was quite vocal about the fact that Jonathan, needs to be reported. I did say I felt that he needs to be reported. And this morning I've been sitting here and I've been thinking about this whole situation with Jonathan, quite a lot, and I've been kind of thinking to myself, like, am I looking at things in the wrong way? Should I be looking at things differently? Am I being too harsh about this? Am I being unfair, or, should I be being a little bit more kind of, should I be giving Jonathan the benefit of the doubt? A lot of those thoughts have kind of been playing on my mind a little bit this morning. It's something that I've really been thinking about. I've been, thinking, would it be, would me being, I've been thinking to myself, like, would me reporting him be the right thing to do? Would I be doing the right thing if I did that, And I'm also scared that if I reported it, it might be wasting my time, because nothing would be done about it, It's just like, it's a lot to think about. It's like, I don't want to report him, but I don't really feel like I have much of a choice or much of a say in the matter, because I've seen too many things that make me feel that Jonathan needs to be reported to someone, and that he needs to be looked into, because a lot of the things you see on his channel are just really, inappropriate, really quite disturbing, to say the least. Some of the things I've seen, as I said in the videos yesterday, some of the things I have seen have left me deeply, deeply concerned. And I think that if anybody looked at if anybody was, what any normal person would do if they looked at that, is they would report it. People say, they don't get why people hate on Jonathan. It's like people are willing to have a go at others for horning Jonathan out, but they don't really understand why people are actually horning Jonathan out and why they're hating on him. It's the same with the Innips. I've made this same argument a few times in the past about the IFAM. I've said that the IFAM are perfectly happy to haul people out, but they don't really understand. They're perfectly happy to haul people out for hating on the Innims, but I don't think they really understand why people are actually hating on the Innims. They think that people are hating on the Innims for no reason, which certainly is not the case. And the same can very well be said for Jonathan Joly, is that people are not just hating on him for no reason. People do have perfectly good reasons for why they hate Jonathan so much. I don't think, as I've said before, I don't think that Anna needs to be reported. I just think that Jonathan, definitely needs to be reported to someone. As I've said before, like, I do feel like if I did report him, I wouldn't be doing it wouldn't be a bad thing. I know that I would be doing the right thing. I know that I would be doing something that, like, a lot of people should be doing. And unfortunately not a lot of people not enough people are actually doing that. It's gotten to the point where something has to change. Someone has to show that they're willing to do the right thing. Because the sooner they show that they're willing to do the right thing, the better the chances will be. The better, the more likely we will be to, for things to get done. I mean, the more people that report him, the more likely something will finally be done about Jonathan, which is what I think everyone wants, is for someone to finally do something about Jonathan. And if enough people actually do the right thing and report him, maybe, just maybe, something might finally be done about it. I mean, I will be reporting Jonathan. I have made my mind up on that, and yes, I will be reporting him. And I would definitely encourage people to do the same thing, because it's the right thing to do. Because something has to be done. He can't keep getting away with the things that he does. But I had a sort of want to echo what I said in my videos in the second video that I did yesterday evening. I said that the reason that Jonathan does a lot of the things that he does is because he knows that people will defend him for it, and people know, and he knows that people will try to justify all of the things he does. They'll try to say, they'll also say he's not doing anything wrong, which, as a matter of fact, he is. Like, the one thing I'm not a big fan of is the sort of clothes that you see Amelia, Edie, and Alessia wearing in the videos. It feels like the sort of clothing they wear is really inappropriate for these, for the videos and stuff like that. But I feel like Jonathan encourages his to dress in inappropriate clothing, because he knows that them dressed, in certain clothing will make them, like handy for creeps, which is basically what Jonathan is trying to do every single damn day. Is basically make his children like handy for creeps on the internet. And I'm not going to apologise for saying that, because, quite frankly, it had to be said. It's a point that has to be made. And I'm perfectly happy to make that point. I don't care if people think that I'm being too harsh or I'm being too critical. Because, at the end of the, as far as I'm concerned, I only ever say the things that need to be said. What I want is for people to join me in finally getting something done about Jonathan Joly. And to join me in finally getting social services to sit up and take notice of the things that Jonathan Joly is doing. Someone has to take notice of it. Someone has to sit up and look into what he's doing. If social services want evidence, all they've got to look up is, all they've got to look at, all they've got to do is look at his channel. Look at the sort of thumbnails he uses, look at certain things he shows in the videos, look at the way that he films his sometimes. It's just disgusting. And he knows exactly what he's doing. And, I think, people claim that we're hating on Jonathan, we've got no evidence to back up what we're hating on him for. I feel like these days, people seem to think that everyone hates on Jonathan because they think that he forced Edie to be trans, but it's not just to do with that. I mean, I think that has a part to play in it, but it's not just to do, it's not just, it's not just to do with that. People hate on Jonathan. Some people hate on Jonathan like myself. People like myself hate on Jonathan because of his creepy, perverted behaviour. And, people hate on him for the disgusting thumbnails he uses. Because the thumbnails that he uses for his videos are quite frankly disgusting. And I think anybody with an ounce of decency would say that, and would back up what I was saying here. I know I'm not the only one that has, that will probably be thinking about things like this. I know there's a lot of people out there who would back me up on this and would echo a lot of the things I've said in this video. They would, I know there's a lot of people out there that would think, I know that some people would think I was being too critical, but I know there are plenty of people out there that would agree with everything that I've said so far in this video and in the previous video and in the 2 videos I did yesterday. Because there are certain things, the way I see it, there are certain things that had to be said, and at the end of the day, I am perfectly willing to say the things that needs to be said. I'm somebody who is actually willing to do what needs to be done, which is reporting Jonathan to every platform possible, to every person, to every department possible. I wouldn't say reporting Jonathan to the police would do anything, because Jonathan, I wouldn't say that Jonathan's really they would say that Jonathan is not committing a crime or anything like that, but reporting Jonathan to social services definitely would be the most appropriate course of action, and it's definitely something that I would encourage people to do. If it was somebody else, I wouldn't be encouraging people to report them to social services, as soon as possible. But when it comes to people like Jonathan, they have to be reported. Someone has to do the right thing and report them, and report someone like him to social services and make them aware of what he's doing, and actually get and actually encourage social services to check out his channel. That's all that, all the evidence say. That's where all the evidence is that they need. If social services want evidence, all they need to do is look at his YouTube channel. That's all they have to do. It's that simple, So, I hope you've enjoyed this short little video this afternoon. And I'll see you for another one later on, maybe tomorrow. Or maybe tomorrow, I don't know. Bye for now, though.